Okay, what's up, everybody? This is Common Ground with Alikai&Rusty, episode 1. What's up, Rusty?
Alikai.
So, we kind of were talking about, since this is kind of our first talk right here, kind of through our history, kind of go into some insights, and then I even have maybe a subject too, or you have a couple subjects we can talk about afterwards.
So I just thought it would be good if first of all you get to know us, kind of where we were born, where we were raised. Yep.
Maybe a little of your background, maybe because the goal is a little religion, politics, skateboarding, life, parenthood. So maybe you can any of that add in there too as you go.
Yeah, exactly. So, Alikai, where were you born?
So I was born in
where were you raised?
Mission Viejo, California. So we live in San Clemente, so pretty close to here. I was born there. We actually lived in a house in kind of Laguna Niguel area, and then we eventually moved to Monarch Bay.
Oh, right.
So when I was born, my parents were very wealthy. Together, my dad and my mom, and my dad had been very successful in he was actually in skiing, and then later on he started a full contact martial arts.
What was his name?
Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee.
Just like the drummer. Only he's the first one. He was a big wave surfer actually out of Hawaii. That's like kind of legendary, and actually kind of all the old school dudes are all the ones kind of know. Even though it's ironic, I don't surf at all. I'm a skateboarder.
Right. You don't surf with the sharks.
No. I like to live by the ocean.
Or fish for them.
I live the ocean and like the breeze and like to look at it, but I don't like to go into it.
Yeah. How about boats and fishing and stuff?
Not a big ocean guy, but like to get to Catalina or something, you got to take a boat. Because I'm not gonna fly there. So I mean, I'm willing to do it, but I'm like I'd rather not do it personally. But yeah, no, it's very interesting because he started a full contact martial arts. Basically what the MMA now is. There's a little bits of it online that you can actually look up about some stuff that talks about it. But a lot of the stuff we lost through moving and just life happening afterwards. But anyway, so I grew up kind of in a weird way of knowing wealth right when I was born. My dad had dude, for instance, we had a lion head rug. Right? He had samurai
swords. A real one?
100% real one.
Wow.
We had samurai swords that were engraved up there. My dad had was it not a Porsche, but he had old school dude, I'm so horrible with cars. Like an old school Cadillac or something.
I'm not really a car guy either, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I mean, but kind of a Dick Tracy looking period car.
Okay.
Like that, like something that looks
like 50s style.
Kind of, yes, because my dad was pretty into hot rods and stuff like that, because he was surfing and hot rods, and him and my mom, so we actually traveled a lot when I was a little kid. My dad had a van, so me, my mom, and then my sister, we traveled. I hit all the states when I was a little kid.
Wow.
My parents tell me stories because my dad was Hawaiian, Chinese, and my mom's Irish English. They would be in like New Mexico. And they would think my dad's Indian. So they would be like, dude, they'd see a white girl with this Native American, and like people would be by. So it was a whole interesting.
But you say he was Chinese?
Chinese Hawaiian.
Oh.
Yeah. And we actually, my sister's doing some DNA stuff right now. We got King Kamehameha through like the Hawaiian side.
King Kamehameha?
King Kamehameha.
Oh, one King.
Yeah, King Kamehameha is one of the big royalties for like the old school dude that fought like all these dudes, and just
wow.
People would know we don't. But anyways, to kind of get back to it,
I wish we had the other. I wish we had Jamie over there.
That would,
Why don't you go ahead and Google that?
If we had another person out there, would be good. But anyways, so I was lucky enough that when I was very little, I got to do some really cool stuff, and I kind of grew up knowing that. But then a lot of things happened, like where apparently there is like the Syndicate of Hawaii or something really wanted to they saw what my dad was doing and really like, dude, we want to get a piece of this. And my mom was just like, dude, no way. And my dad's like, dude, we're just done. We're done. Because I mean, they had stuff all over, and it just he's just like, no thanks. But that sent him into a weird spiral of drugs that became kind of a weird thing that became his downfall for the rest of his life. But anyway, so then I went from this really high area to my parents splitting up. My mom running away because my dad just getting into some wackiness because we had a lot of bad things happen with we had a couple of robberies at our house where people stole a bunch of money and stuff like that. So
oh wow,
yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I was robbed when I was a child too.
Really?
And, oh, it sucked. That's why my parents moved actually, because I lived in when I first moved out to the Inland Empire. I lived down in Ontario off of 4th and Grove.
Okay.
And our house was broken into a couple of times. My parents were like, yep. Then we moved up to Alta Loma at the time, which later turned into Greater Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah, so we had a similar story. Only thing is my parents hadn't done the drop that was going to come Monday for all the money they'd made for one of the events. And
wait, what do you mean?
We had a safe in the bedroom. So when we got robbed, I mean, we got robbed probably there was 30 to 60 grand in the thing that was going to go to the bank Monday.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's
they took the safe.
Dude, my what they stole out of our place was the Atari and the games, and
so it sounds like younger kids.
Yeah,
younger people. We kind of feel this was more of an inside job because the stuff that was gone after, like I said, a safe. You know what I mean? That's not kids going, dude, let's take this huge safe and drag it. That's more probably something. But anyways, to get back to kind of what you're asking, I kind of, it is weird because I have memories up until 4 maybe, right around 4 going into 5 of knowing this cool stuff, but then also the downfall of it and my parents splitting up and my dad just kind of just diving headfirst into drugs and my mom really picking up the slack. So from 1st grade on, I had a single mom who took care of me. My dad loved me. He always stayed around, but he lived in a van, dude, for a good portion of my life. I mean, man, Dr. Phil, dude, eat your heart out. I got stories about that guy. That's what the
Dr. Phil?
No, about my dad for Dr. Phil. I'm just saying, because I got stories, dude, and I got jokes about it too.
I thought you were gonna say what? You have a story with Dr. Phil?
No, I'm just saying, Dr. Phil, eat your heart out, because I got family drama to talk about. But anyway, so he went that route. My mom raised me. I was raised in San Clemente, California. You know what? Single mom, really. Dad, like I said, was around for love, but really didn't have his shit together as far as getting a job and a permanent this and that. So he wasn't reliable in a lot of things, but he never
But he was doing really well at one point, right?
Only up until I was 4 or 5, and then from then on out, like I said, once he spiraled down, he never came out of it. He dove into drugs. Drugs became a big issue, and then he caught some a lot of health issues later on in life, and that became his kind of downfall eventually. But but it was all still because of a life. My Uncle Duke always said it best. Your dad never stopped living on the edge. That's the one thing about your dad. And I'm and my uncle is being straight up. That's not a good thing or a bad thing he's saying. He's just your dad never stopped hanging on the edge. He just never said, I'm going to get the 9 to 5. Or not necessarily that, but I'm not going to just be consistent in some way and get my shit together. It was always kind of... But then the health stuff kicked in, and then he was getting subsidies and stuff like that. But love, dude was always loved us. No matter what.
Yeah.
He never ran away. That's the one thing. But my mom always gave him credit for that one thing.
Men generally do love their children.
But a lot of men run away, and I think both of us know a lot of people that have run away. We might know a lot of people that haven't, but I definitely know a lot of people that just don't necessarily. My dad wanted to always be there. He had good intentions on that part. It was the drugs that got in the way. It was just always the drugs. But anyways, like I said, my mom worked her ass off, raised us all. She's the one that did it all. But anyways, get back to the point. San Clemente, raised in this town. Got into skateboarding. I've had a skateboard all my life, but probably in 7th grade, skating became my life.
Yeah.
Skateboarding took over my life, and from that point until the day right to this point to this time right now, I have skateboarded all my life, and that's really dominated everything in my life and the way I look at it. Obviously that things have changed, come and go, and I don't do it as much as I can. But to this day in life, I look at the world through the eyes of a skateboarder. I see the world from it. But then a lot of people that don't understand skateboarding, which you do, will never understand how many things you get from it, like street smarts. One of the biggest things skateboarding can help give you is just street smarts.
Really?
You know, because
you're interacting with other people? And...
No, because you skate in shitty areas.
Oh, wow.
And you gotta fucking pay attention.
That's kind of true.
You gotta pay attention. You gotta learn. You gotta know when things are. You gotta know when the scam's going on. You gotta know, like, those dudes are up to something over there. We're gonna go this way, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you end up skating East LA growing up when you're fucking 15 years old. You know, people get robbed. Well, skateboarding was my life, dude. We traveled. I mean, I ended up, you know, luckily enough, riding for companies and going that route and becoming, you know, the skateboard pro section of that world and just going that route. You know,
I'd like to talk to you about that. It's, you know, at different times.
I was blessed by, you know, ATM skateboards. Thank God they gave me a career and just helped me out in so many ways. But that was my life. Skateboarding, still to this day, that's what I love to do.
Yeah.
But then other things have, like I said, I've become a parent. You know, 3 years ago, I've got a 3-year-old.
Yeah, that
changes that changed everything. That was the real game changer. Mm-hmm. Because I never thought something would become more than skate. Even my wife, I love her. I love her so much, but even she knew Saturdays I went skating. She never had a Saturday.
And you still do.
I still do to a certain degree, but my daughter surpassed it all.
Right.
And I know we'll get to you, and I know you feel the same way as I do on that. So I never thought it would, but once I had that little girl, man, I do look forward to like ending skating so I can go back and hang out with her. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I love it. Although she's 3 and boy, she can test you sometimes. Though. She can test me. She can test me, man. But I love her, dude.
But you know what? If you, well, I don't know. I guess I'm blessed. All in all, I think my daughter is pretty good.
I know your daughter's pretty good. No,
I'm blessed in that.
And we'll get to that. I think we'll get to that in a sec because I totally think it's because you're a great dad. And that shows. And I mean, and to be fair though, I mean, I don't know your ex-wife as much. But she seems pretty straight up too. So, I mean, it takes both. Yeah. It takes 2 people, you know what I mean, to raise it. And I'm lucky too that I found my wife, you know, Laura. We've been married for like 8 years. We've been together for 16 years. I'll tell people that's my little soppy story is that my best friend Jeremy told me to, actually, we first walked in the bar with our friends Scott, Jeremy Reese, and Joel Harris. We go to the bar, and my buddy comes up and he's like, "Hey, you know, I got these girls over there. They wanna talk to you guys." So instantly, the way me and Jeremy Reese go, "Oh, it must be for Joel and Scott." So we just walk to the bar. We don't even pay attention. Hilarious. We don't even pay attention, right? So then we get beers. We go to we're at the bar Oli's, and we're just doing our usual party routine. You know what I mean? I'm 26. That's what we would do. You know, we probably got there at 11. We go over and hang out in the corner. Scotty and Joel come back. And then my buddy Jeremy comes up and he's like, my other buddy, a different Jeremy Faith comes up and he's like, "Dude, I need a wingman, bro. Like, there's this girl over here, but I really want to hook up with the other girl, man. So, like, I need a wingman." I'm like, "Dude," "I'm your man. Let's do this. So I walk over, introduce myself, and she's like, "Oh, I'm Laura." I'm like, "I'm Alikai." And she's like, "Oh, I'm totally into skateboard." And I'm like, "Yeah, right." You know, and we kind of had this back and forth. Well, safe to say, Jeremy's never talked to that girl again. I've never stopped talking to that woman. So from the day I met her, I've talked to her every since. I probably broke all the rules of waiting and stuff like that, like they say you're supposed to, because I was hanging out with her the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that. So I was lucky. She's an amazing girl. She knows skateboarding. She knows music. She drums. That's awesome. And I mean, you know that she drums in a band.
She's like ringing the bell,
dude. She raps. Like I got lucky. I got an amazing wife. I mean, great. She puts up with me, which is a miracle in itself. And then we had an amazing daughter and stuff like that too. And I still live in the same town that I grew up in. I always tell people though, that's only because I was lucky enough to travel, and see the world and see a lot of places and stuff like that. So I always loved coming home to it. I mean, sure, there's times. I've also got my mom in town, so you know what, I'm a I'm a mama's
nice.
boy. You know that make sure someone's got to make sure she's all good. You know what I mean? You know, I've got a sister and a brother who are amazing, but I'm the one that's here in town. So, but overall, like you know, I'm in a good place of where I need to be. But you know, I can always grow as a person.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed.
So how old are you now?
Oh yeah, I'm. Well, now I'm gonna keep my age
You're
to myself.
gonna. Oh, okay.
A little mystery.
I see.
We'll keep a little mystery for right now. We'll keep a little mystery. No, but what I was just gonna say is that like I've gotten to a point that I'm more open to trying to be less argumentative about things, and like we've talked about in the past of being less married to ideals and stuff like that. And I think that's what we wanted to always get with this.
Or even just more tolerant of.
100%.
Just more tolerant of the other view, you know, because.
Hold on. That is going to be one of the topics I have. So I don't want to get away from get it going you first before we start diving into something.
What do you mean?
We got to get to know you.
Oh, okay.
I mean so before we dive into that.
Right.
So no, I'm just going to finish right this. My goal. This is
so
really.
Let's write that down about tolerance.
I've got some.
Okay.
No, I'm ready. I'm just going to finish up with my thing of just saying no. My goal is to grow, and my goal is to do this with my friend right here, and really see if we can talk to you guys about just the most, like I said, politics, religion, skateboarding, life, parenthood. It's just two guys that.
Yeah, really just about life.
Yeah, it's just about life.
In general.
And it's really not about more of us saying we're wrong or right or to prove you guys wrong. It's just more of like, hey, dude, you're on a jog and you got nothing else to listen to. Let's listen to these two guys talk for a little while and see what they got to say. But on the other side of it, that was kind of what I was going to lead into before we get crazy. But yeah, kind of give us. I know we talked about it last week, but that was a different time. I want to start fresh with this one.
Okay.
So kind of like you kind of gave us a little sample right there of your move because of the robbery and stuff like that.
Okay.
But really, where were you born? Where did you grow up in?
All right. Well, I was born in West Covina at Queen of the Valley Hospital, and we lived out there till I was about 5. And then we moved to Ontario, and then we moved. So that was making the jump from one side of the valley to the other, right? Basically just over the 10, you know, we're La Puente and
out in the IE as they call it.
And all.
Well, actually, that's not the IE, right?
Yeah,
that would be more LA,
like,
almost LA.
It's LA County.
Yeah.
But it's the way outskirts, right? So then going into San Bernardino County, you go over, what is it, Kellogg Hill, I think.
Okay.
And then you come into the IE, like Pomona. You know, when you get there, you know how there's that big hill.
I do.
So that's basically the dividing line. It's right around there somewhere.
Okay.
Is San Bernardino and LA County.
Okay. Yep.
So you get over to the other side, and you got Glendora, and then like San Dimas, and then the next one over would be like La Puente and Covina.
Cool.
Like over in there.
So okay, so you were born. So where were you born again?
Born there.
Okay,
at
and then
5,
and then you moved.
And I was only till 5, so
okay.
I had no clue really what was going on out there.
Okay.
Except we went to church out there.
Kind of like what I was saying too. Maybe flashback memories, right? Do you get those ever?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I have too. I feel like sometimes I've seen so many pictures though it's influenced my memory to feel like I filled in the gaps, right?
I don't know. It's that's funny because I don't really have pictures of that place.
Okay.
These are just memories. Like I really remember the church.
Okay.
Because it was this big brown church. It was fairly big, and there was a couple of like little, almost kind of hidden stairways, but they weren't really hidden. But it was just this big place, and I used to like to go up and down these stairs in this wooden building and whatever, and I remember that.
Okay, so where did you end up then?
Anyway, then we went to Ontario.
Okay, Ontario. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a nice area.
What? Yeah, and parts
Oh,
of it are.
I guess you could have there's
Parts of it are,
parts
and
of it.
parts of it aren't.
I think by
So,
Pioneer in that area kind of like.
when we first moved in there, it was basically grapevines, and that was it. There was grapevines. So on 4th Street, there was the Red Lion that had been there for a long time. And I remember trying to remember if it was already there or if it got built when we were there. I don't remember, but anyway, the Red Lion Inn was one of. So when we first moved there, all there was gas stations.
Okay.
So there was a gas station on either side of the road.
Because of Highway, because of 10, and
Yeah.
which is really Route 66 turned into the 10, basically.
That was all there was there, and it's just grapevines. And then there was the VFW and John Galvin Park. So John Galvin Park runs. It's kind of a funky shape. It has this long portion that's kind of skinny that goes down through several streets, and it goes all the way up to. Did I say 4th and Vineyard or G and Vineyard?
You said 4th earlier.
Okay, so I'm sorry. It was G in Vineyard, and that's where the.
Okay.
But 4th Street is where John Galvin Park ended.
Okay.
A lot of people though I don't know. It's G Street. So there was 2 rows of houses and then apartments across the street.
Okay.
From that was it.
Okay.
And then the rest was just like the VFW was there, and then the park. And so we would hop my fence, and then we'd be in this field that had this big tree, big oak tree or something, and that's
Hopping
where
fences was fun. Some kids did it. Some kids did it at our house the other day though, and me and John, my neighbor, came out. Both of us, what do you do? What's going on here? Like, dude, and I became the old man instantly. They're just trying to hop over the fence. Dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up hopping over fences too.
So from like 5 until basically my elementary years, up until the summer after 7th grade, then we moved to Altaloma.
Okay. Okay.
So after that,
is that where you met eventually all the kind of the acquaintances we have together?
Yeah. So then I moved up and I went to Altaloma Junior High.
Okay.
And went on to.
And then Altaloma High or whatever they call it.
No, I was actually the first year where the lines.
Oh, there's some switch of a line. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and so a lot of my friends went to Altaloma High, and I went over to Etiwanda High.
Oh, that sucks. Right? That probably is.
It did at first, but you
made new friends.
At the time, I had only been there for a year, and you're going to school no matter what, right? And you just meet people and do your thing out where you're at.
Well, I mean, I just meant because it's a lot different than today, where when you moved to school in that day, you totally, those people disappeared. Now everybody connects through Facebook and everything, and can find everybody and stuff. But like, you would just like all of a sudden you're like, dude, that's a million miles away now. All of a sudden, like, which is really just...
some people it was like that, but at the same time, it's not that big of a town.
Well, I guess because you still came to the same town, you just went to different high schools.
Yeah.
I got you. That makes more sense. Okay. Because I think of when I was like in 1st or 2nd or 3rd grade, and even when a kid went from my elementary to a different elementary, that's like a whole different world that you're like, oh yeah, right. I don't even have contact with that person anymore.
It would be like someone going to Concordia and someone going to Las Palmas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You
Once
know?
that would totally, they disappeared to me. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I just said. That's like when the other person went to another elementary for me. That like when I was a little kid, if I was in 2nd grade, that person was gone to me. I'd never see them again.
You wouldn't.
Because I was too little to be able to walk over there, and phones were not necessarily convenient.
Well, but by the time you're in high school, you've already
that's
been
where it's
skating
different.
Around town.
Yeah, that's where it's different.
You know, you could skate 3 or 4 blocks.
Yeah, much different.
And
yeah, that's when you could start keeping friends in different ways. Yeah.
You're still gonna go skate.
I just meant it's so convenient now. That's really what I meant earlier.
Yeah.
Like it's just convenient now. Like you just push a button, you're like, oh, there's Rusty. Psh. Oh yeah, right. I found you again, bro. because I mean, I do chat through like Facebook or Instagram to people that are in New York and
But
stuff like that.
didn't you still have sports where you
it's
connected
funny.
with
That's funny. I
other-
hated sports. I hated it. I hated playing. I mean,
Yeah.
I was good. I actually. I mean, not to get back to me, but yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. I played indoor soccer all my life, which I actually enjoyed because it was very tight and it was physical because you had walls, so you could check people and stuff like that. But then I ended up getting sponsored by a club team. I hated it, dude. I used to pray that the coach wouldn't pick me up because he picked me up, and I'd be like, "Dude, please, no, I hate."
Stay away.
Well, and by that time I was fully involved with skateboarding, and I'm like, "Dude, I am so over it."
So that's what
I'm a skateboarder.
Yeah.
I'm not a sports guy, dude. I'm good at stuff, but I just don't care about sports.
Yeah, I'm the same way actually. I played sports up until like team sports, up until like I did my freshman and sophomore year, but then my junior and senior year I didn't, and I was like, I don't want to go there and be yelled at. And
oh yeah, you were in high school. There's no way. By high school, I was like done with that stuff.
Yeah.
And
like, man, no. So I was skating and going to the beach, whatever.
Yep, yeah, me too.
I was like, I didn't want to do all that on my.
Only the difference was when you say go to the beach, you had to drive an hour.
I had to drive there. Exactly.
I could actually say skating and go to the beach.
Well, now I can.
But I know what you mean though. Like it's funny because like I remember in high school, like I'd be like walking by the soccer area, like the coach. All the kids on the team grew up with playing soccer with me, and they knew I was good.
Yeah.
So the coach would be like, "Dude, Lee, when you gonna play soccer?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't do that shit. I like got baggy pants. It's '92, dude. Like it's like I'm like, dude, I'm over that stuff, dude.
Baggy pants,
you know what I mean? Big wheel. I mean, little wheels, big pants, dude. You know what I mean?
Right. The tiny
blind
wheels.
jeans.
Like I remember going, well, what are the biggest wheels you have? And they're like, well, they're like this big.
Oh, see, I remember when we were like, what's the smallest wheel you can get? They were bearing count. I think 39s might have been the smallest.
They were so small because you wanted to do all kinds of blunts and whatever. But
not that it helped it. It just mentally people. I don't know.
Right.
But everybody, dude, just now think about how slow everybody must have been going. Because you can't go that fast on a wheel that big, dude. It's never going to go that fast, dude, compared to what I'm on my big cruiser board now that's got wheels this big. Right. I'm like grease lightning down the hill now, dude, and this guy's going
right.
I'm like, but yeah.
Well, that's because, that's why I like those Bones Bombers when they came out. Those are good wheels, and they've been around for a long time, but the Bones Bombers aren't.
Did you so when you were into skateboarding? I mean, you're a little older than me, so it's not. I mean, that actually does change some of the videos and stuff like that we first saw. But like by like '92, were you still skating in the early '90s?
Yeah, sure.
So were you keeping up with like the culture and stuff like that?
No, not at all. And you'll even if you ever see any pictures that I have, usually they're blank boards.
No, that's okay. I mean, that doesn't
just
price point too. A lot of the times too.
For me, it was fully price point, and I always figured, okay, why am I going to pay this much more for a graphic when in 2 days it's going to be gone?
That's what rails are for.
Oh, well. But it wasn't cool to have rails.
Oh, see? Okay, yeah, by 92, yeah, you're right. 91, 92, rails were done. You're right. That's like, and boards actually got crappier and they broke all the time. And like people were doing, like, just tricks were progressing so fast.
So one time it was cool, man. You know how, does the Powell still have the factory in Santa Barbara?
It's in Goleta. Yeah, it's the same place.
Okay, so my buddy was going to school up at UC Santa Barbara.
Did you guys skate Powell?
And
skate zone?
Actually, no. I did not skate it.
I did.
When I went there, we looked at it, but it was closed at the time when we went. But the little office was open or whatever.
Okay, yeah, it's got the little shop in it.
Right, so that was open, but it wasn't like skate time for some reason, or I don't know exactly, but it wasn't open. But I went there because I was skating. I had a Chris Sen board that I had just bought. and it had the.
How for all the Kristen.
It was one of those ones that was like laminate.
Yeah, ever slick.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I went up. I just bought it. Like, I don't know if it was a day or 2 days, and we were skating at the school, and I did some weak little ollie trick, like just a board up onto the thing, and it snapped like.
Yeah.
And I was really bummed because it was a more expensive board because it had the Everslick and blah blah blah.
Yep.
But I took it back to PAL and they gave me a new one.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I just said, look, man, this board it's broken.
Boards were breaking a lot then, man. Yeah.
I just got this, and it wasn't a trick where the board should have broken half, you know. But they gave me a new one.
That's awesome. I mean, I've had similar things where I've broken like boards, like so on the first 3 tricks.
Yeah.
And then I've actually sent it back, and they're like, "Hey, here's your new board," something like that. So that's always rad, stuff like that too. But when you, so you kind of skated through that time, and then you're just kind of, I mean, you're kind of outdoorsy too, like so you probably were doing kind of
I was doing
right
mountain biking. I was really into mountain biking too.
So what got you? Because as long as I've known you, you've lived in the same town as me since like 2006 or something like that, I believe.
Yeah, 2006.
So what brought you out from that area out to San Clemente?
I was going through some changes in my life, and our buddy Jeremy Reese had just knew what was up, and it's like, yeah, just come down here, you know. And at the time, him and our buddy Bobo.
Yep.
They had a construction company together, and they were gonna go do a job in Hawaii, and they're like, yeah, you can come down and house it for us, you know, check it out. Cause anyway, that wound up falling through, but I had been coming down here on the weekends just because I had friends down here. It was fun. You know, Scotty lived down on Del Mar.
With Jeremy.
Yeah. And
so you met Josh, didn't you?
Well, no, I knew.
Because Josh lived with Bobo, not Jeremy.
Well, Josh and Jeremy are brothers.
No. But you said to house sit to house.
Yes, with Josh.
Josh and Jeremy's house. Josh and Bobo's house is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, Scott lived at the other house, so he would have been.
No, Scotty lived down
with Jeremy,
on Del Mar.
With Jeremy,
right. And Josh and Bobo lived up on.
I know. I was just clarifying
Victoria.
Because you said you were gonna watch Jeremy and Bobo's house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they didn't live together, so I just wanted to make sure. Jeremy and Bobo never lived together.
No. Okay, well, I was confused.
No, it's okay. That's why in my head I was like I thought
Josh and Jay.
Josh, that's what exactly.
Josh and Jay lived up.
That's exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's what I thought you were talking about. Okay, yeah, Josh Reese, because we're talking about 2 brothers, Jeremy Reese and Josh Reese. Yeah, nope. That's what I thought you were thinking.
Yeah.
I was just making sure, clarifying.
Right.
So was it Josh and Bobo that had the cement company?